become to be a tradition to explain the situation. And so good morning to all of you. And it's a pleasure to be with you today to present the annual findings for the safety gate. In fact, the EU rapid alert system for dangerous non-food products, because there are some other rules for the food products. A few weeks ago, on the 23rd of February, when we adopted the Commission's proposal on corporate sustainability due diligence, I underlined the consumer's will to shape tomorrow's transitions towards a greener and fairer digital world. In that context, it would come as no surprise that our way of consuming has increasingly shifted online over the past years. The way we buy products has also changed. Let's look at the past years. The COVID-19 pandemic, of course, has often kept at home, meaning that we as consumers have had to shop more online, buying products without seeing them beforehand. This reality has ultimately exposed us to increased risks of buying a product without being able to inspect it first. To prevent any unsafe products to end up in our hands, the safety gate was created. It is a remarkable example of European cooperation. 30 countries participate in the safety gate. All the EU member states, the 27, plus Iceland, Liechtenstein and Norway. National authorities are responsible for surveillance of the market. They take measures to ban or restrict the sale of dangerous products detected, stop them at the border, or order the recall of the dangerous product, and we insist more and more on the way to recall the products from the market. Via the safety gate, national authorities of the participating countries quickly circulate and share information. It helps them to identify dangerous products more easily in their national markets and take the necessary measures quicker too. This type of EU-wide instrument is of utmost importance to secure the well-functioning of the single market and the same level of protection for all EU consumers. We try to have an equal treatment, of course, of all the consumers with the same level of protection. But as the consumer's environment is changing, we need to make sure that we can also adapt our tools so that they can be fit for purpose. In that context, the European Commission is also launching a new tool for national authorities, the Surveillance Web Crawler. This tool will make it easier for national authorities to track down online offers of dangerous products already notified in the safety gate and to identify their providers. This tool uses key data from alerts with a very high level of accuracy and therefore offers a better performance compared to previous tools. So it will be a better enforcement, in fact, of what we are doing with the safety gate, a better capacity to implement all the different alerts that we have with concrete measures to protect the consumers. Venons-en maintenant aux résultats.
Now let's take a look at some of the results of this edition of the Safety Gate. This year we have had 2,142 alerts sent out, which has led to 4,965 follow-up actions carried out by the national authorities. The significant number of alerts is a result of close cooperation, both between the Commission and their national authorities, as well as with certain stakeholders, including online platforms, international partners, such as UN or OECD agencies, but also product safety monitoring authorities in the USA, Canada, and China. On the topic of cooperation with the US, we met with Alexander Hunsarik, President of the American Commission for Consumer Product Safety, and we agreed to further strengthen our already long-lasting and robust cooperation and take it up a notch. The boom in online purchasing and the rollout of new technologies, two trends which have accelerated during the COVID-19 pandemic, give rise to new risks in terms of product safety for consumers, both in the European Union and the United States. And due to these risks, we now see a need to protect certain vulnerable categories of consumers, such as children or the elderly. We have to pool our efforts in the light of these common challenges. That's essential to protect consumers on both sides of the Atlantic and throughout the world, working together. We have recently concluded a similar agreement with Lina Khan, President of the Federal Trade Commission, and today I am pleased to be able to announce that we have established a second informal dialogue on consumers between the European and American authorities. I proposed this idea when I visited Washington last year, and we have been able to take steps towards having a dialogue with each of the American agencies in part of consumer protection policy. Now, on the topic of China, we've been working with them since 2006, and we strengthened our cooperation further in 2019 using a targeted information exchange program for dangerous products. This has helped a great deal to make our work with the Chinese authorities more effective, and we are seeing the results of this, the fruit of this, every single day. Increasingly, we see a lot of information being exchanged. But to come back to the results of the safety gate for this year, we have noticed an increase in alerts to do with motorised vehicles. These are the number one item which are flagged up in the safety gate within the European Union. Second, we have alerts pertaining to children's toys, and this comes as no surprise. And I'm delighted that the safety gate continues to be especially effective in this domain. Children are indeed very vulnerable consumers when they are presented with a toy that has not been well built or well designed. The risk that they have is much greater than for an adult. As for alerts on products which pose a risk to the environment, well, these have doubled compared to last year. And we see an increasing number of alerts pertaining to products which are supposed to protect people from COVID infections. Masks being the primary product, which represents 6% of the total number of alerts this year.
I will show you some examples like last year of products removed from the market and published on SafetyGate. As I mentioned, many products for children further here. Vigilance in this market is essential because we try to pay attention to the vulnerable people, and I said the children are a very large part of the vulnerable people, and it's the reason why we are also working with our US colleagues about such a category of vulnerable people. And first is from Belgium. I will show the first one, I'm sure. This soft toy stork, so in cigogne in French, so a stork, and the eyes that you see here of such a stork can easily become detached. So it's possible to take off the eyes, and a small child could show them off or put them in their mouths and, of course, shock on them. So it's not new. Every year we have some kind of toy with a real risk for the children. It seems to be without any risk, and it's the reason why in the discussion with the European Parliament we try to say that it's very important to reinforce the product safety for all the products, and maybe not to try to say that they are risky products or not before to start the process, because if you look at that, it's not evident that there is a risk. It's only if you see that it's possible to detach the eyes that it's become to be dangerous. Also from Belgium, we have another toy there, I'm sure. This time a toy drum, so it's possible to play music with them. But some part inside, that you may see here maybe also, can be easily detached also from the toy. And a child, again, could put them in their mouths and choke. So it's the same reasons why we consider that it's very dangerous because we have a lot of small part of the toy that is possible to detach from this and to put in the mounts. And again, for vulnerable people like children, it's a very dangerous product too. Then we will follow maybe the list from Hungary. It's another kind of product, a child night light. So it's quite very easy to understand because you see on the other side it's detached. The lamp is attractive for the children because it's a toy and it's possible to have a light during the night. But however, the flat plug is smaller than required for the safety. As a result, life paths are accessible, and this could lead to an electric shock. And with this one, it's very clear because it's without any link with the toy. And the lamp could cause burns or catch fire while it's used. So that is more with an electric shock that you have a real risk for the children. Then from Poland, another one, a telephone. So it's also a toy for small children, and this toy makes a sound. I don't know if we have here, maybe not. We'll make a demonstration in a technical briefing of the sound, because this toy makes a sound, but the level is too high, so it's maybe not the moment to do that, which could lead to permanent or partial hearing loss for the children. So it's also a reason why, with a possible injury for the children, that we put that on the safety gate, and we ask the member states, of course, to take initiatives. And then finally, maybe a last one from Sweden, a kettle, you see here. So it seems to be without any problem, but the product has various defects. The plastic material of the product contains short-chain chlorinated paraffins and dangerous plasticizers. We have also chemicals products in the fabrication that they are dangerous for the user, and those chemical substances can be a risk to the environment, of course, and be harmful to human health. And so it's also a reason why we try to put that out of the market. And these products did not meet the health and safety requirements and pose a risk to consumers and the environment. So again, these products are no longer on the market. And so you see different examples for the children, but also for the adults. And the consequence of the alert on the safety gates is to ask to all the member states, from one alert coming from Belgium, Sweden, Poland or Hungary, to organize the withdrawing of the product from the market everywhere in Europe, or to recall and to organize the recall of the product if it's needed through the producer. I want just to turn now to another aspect of the consumer safety, the EU Product Safety Pledge, just to say that a series of commitments made by online marketplace was signed up to cooperate with member states' authorities and quickly remove dangerous products from their platform. It was an important voluntary commitment from platforms, and by signing the pledge, online companies undertake to check that products registered in SafetyGate are not for sale on their website, and commit to act quickly when national authorities signal any new dangerous product to them, which should be taken down. There are 11 major online marketplaces that have already signed the pledge, and the 6th progress report on the implementation of the Product Safety Pledge has now just been published and reflects the strong commitment of all parties to further improve this cooperation to prevent even more banned products to be sold online. And on this note, I strongly encourage, of course, other platforms to take part and to join the safety pledge, to go faster in the rate, again, to put all those products out of the market and certainly out of the website. Discussions are running now with signatories of the pledge and stakeholders on how to move the cooperation forward, and to consider discussing when commitments in other areas of consumer law. And maybe a last word about the GPSR, or support to consumer, does not end here with the safety gate and with the voluntary pledge. As announced in the new consumer agenda, the Commission has proposed a general product safety regulation The context for this was the revision and modernization of the current general product safety framework. The proposal addresses risks related to new technology products, such as cybersecurity risks, and to online shopping by introducing product safety rules for online marketplaces. It will ensure that all products reaching EU consumers through online marketplace or from neighborhood shops are safe, whether they come from within the EU or from outside. And the proposal is now being discussed by the co-legislators. Of course, with the agreement on the DSA, it's become to be easier to go more in depth about the consumer situation and about the general product safety regulation that you have put on the table, because the DSA is an horizontal approach and we are going more in depth in a vertical approach about the product safety with the GPSA. And I would like to take the opportunity of today's presentation, of course, to encourage authorities to continue working together to protect consumers. We are in discussion with the Council and the Parliament, of course, about such a kind of new regulation. And today's results have once again shown the importance of the action for the protection of EU consumers and to continue to protect consumers. Of course, I'm at your disposal to answer to your questions if you have. It was planned to organize the presentation some time ago, so we have changed the schedules. We are doing that later, maybe this year, due to the beginning of the violent aggression of Russia in Ukraine. And so it was not maybe the moment at the beginning of the war to present the results, but it's time to do that today.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, for this very interesting presentation, which has become a good tradition by now.